Can you all tell me what you think is the best clipper and trimmer money can buy? Be honest. Let's see what you barbers think is the best. Just be honest with me. I'm Toad, and this is Barber News.
Oh, crying. I'm really just a dickhead, Don't act like you don't know me. This camp deserve a trophy. Baby, they know me straight. Do the most crying in history. Power potting go show up. This camera clippers blow up. It's bossy or crying. 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 Bossy or crying.
Have all the barbers who said they prefer corded clippers died out? I heard rumors that some brands were going to try to release a new corded machine. I feel this is just going backwards. Do any of you barbers even own a corded machine? I feel if I walked into a barbershop and I seen someone use a corded clipper, I would leave. I don't think we know how spoiled we are. Having to move a cord over the client's neck every time you had to move was horrifying. I guess we didn't know any different back then. And no foils. Instead, it was cutthroat only. Having to put shaving cream around people's heads takes so long and always left lines. Do any of you still cut this way? I used to cut so many people. And if you had a mole, that bad boy was getting sliced every time. It was like a scene from Jason X at least once a week. I didn't care. I had my way of cutting, and that was it. I wasn't changing for anyone. Sometimes when I would start working in a new shop, the boss would try get me to cut a certain way. Do any of you guys have a boss who tries to convince you to cut like him? My last boss sucked at cutting hair. I would say it straight up. Look, Jim, just because you rent out this shitty barbershop doesn't mean you know more than me about cutting hair. One time he even stopped me mid-cut to try tell me how to cut the top. I just gave him a death stare and told him if he tries that shit again with me, he would be wearing an eye patch for the rest of his life. Have you ever worked with cheap skate barbers who will never upgrade their clippers and they just use the same stuff for the last few years? They nearly look like a prison tool, with tape keeping it together. I feel you gotta invest in your tools. Imagine a doctor using old rusty equipment. You would never go back. Well, barbering is the same. Which barber are you? Do you care about your clippers? Do you research clippers before buying them? Or will you just buy whatever looks the coolest? Let me know in the comments. I know some of you barbers will say it doesn't matter, but I feel good tools will really show on your work. Yes, we know if you can fade, you should be able to do it with anything. But good clippers makes it easier and enjoyable, especially if you're really busy. Check out this short clip. That was the TPOB Play Clipper and Trimmer. An amazing set, and you can find all the TPOB products on tpobusa.com and the pissedoffbarber.com, the fastest growing clipper brand in the world, providing the best quality for the best prices. Alright, listen up. I want to give you some solid customer service advice, especially if you're serious about barbering. Here's the deal. Never let a client in your chair talk to you rudely or with a bad attitude. You're a professional, and you deserve respect. If someone's being snippy or disrespectful, calmly tell them to sit up straight and act right. You're the one in control here. Now let's talk about those vague or unrealistic haircut requests. A lot of clients don't actually know what they're asking for. When they hit you with, "Can you do this?" or start throwing out terms that don't make sense, don't waste time over explaining. Just hit them with a, "Yeah, sure, bro, I got you." And then do what you know is going to work best. Why? Because if you start breaking down every detail with them, you're going to spend way too much time talking and way too little time cutting. And trust me, your time is money. To recap, always agree, stay professional, and then use your expertise to give them the best cut possible. Most clients don't know what they're talking about anyway. And honestly, a lot of barbers aren't skilled enough to nail every request. So if you're still learning, take this advice seriously. It'll save you time, frustration, and help you improve in the long run. If you're passionate about barbering, take control of your chair. Don't tolerate any bullshit. Now I know some of you have been waiting for this, so here it is. Let's just say an army is being built, and could they all get one big throne to join together? That's crazy, bro. Join me now as I have a barber who wants to discuss some topics. Caller, you're live.
Toad, you crazy son of a gun. How are you doing, buddy? The last time I spoke to you was in Vegas. Do you remember that night?
How could I forget? But listen, let's keep this professional. So you said you wanted to come on and talk a little about some stuff?
I mainly wanted to speak about how amazing your buddy TPOB is doing. The play clipper keeps popping up all over my feed. It seems to be the most popular device on the planet right now. I mean, he is everywhere. I guess his high quality and best prices is making him a star in the eyes of barbers.
Well, yeah, but listen, I know you're not an expert on barbering, but what about the mental aspect of dealing with the public? How can you cope with it?
That's an excellent question. Dealing with the public can always be a challenge, especially if you're in a hands-on profession like a barber where you're literally touching people's hair all day. Luckily for me, I don't have to do that, but I know how tough it can be to work directly with people. Let's be real. A lot comes with the pressure of being in the public eye or in high-demand roles. Social anxiety, panic attacks, they're real. I've been there myself. One time, I had a panic attack so bad I thought I was dying. Like I was in the hospital, convinced that was it for me. Spoiler alert, it wasn't, but that experience showed me how much we need to focus on our mental health. Building self-confidence is a great place to start if you're struggling. And listen, if you're dealing with single moms, especially the good-looking ones, they can be a little intimidating. Trust me, I've been in that situation too. It's all about keeping your cool. One thing that helps me is watching motivational videos. Seriously, a little inspiration goes a long way. That said, let me make this clear. I'm not a therapist. Don't take my word as professional advice or anything like that. I just love the sound of my own voice and sharing what works for me. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and keep pushing forward.
When I used to be a party animal back in my early barber days, man, those were some wild times. I'd be out drinking, partying hard, living that so-called fun lifestyle. But let me tell you, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Along with all the fun came a lot of panic attacks. I didn't know how to cope back then. One time it got so bad while I was working alone, I completely lost it and couldn't handle the pressure. So, I did something I'm not proud of. I told everyone my father had just been shot and that I had to rush home. Yeah, you heard that right. It was a lie. It was awkward as hell trying to keep that story up for months, but at the time, I felt like I didn't have any other choice. That moment was a turning point for me, though. I realized I couldn't keep living like that, so I made a decision. I left town and left my past behind. But hey, that's a story for another day. For now, just know that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to make a change, and it's never too late to start over. Wow, I need to stop rambling or I won't stop. Maybe one day I will express my past on Barber News, but not today. You got enough from that story. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment. That's it from me. I'm out. Peace.